So, having not repaired the Ninja radio, let's see if we can not repair a Midland 77099, which is coming in the same box of gifts, December 1990 version, and you can see there's no power lead. So I'm not going to be able to just sneakily power it up, am I? Right, we're going to want a 5-pin DIN mic, okay. Now normally these are dry joints. We're going to have to take all the lids off, aren't we, folks, because we're going to have to do something about the power lead, even if we connect something very temporarily. And mostly, if there's screen plates in these, they're going to be under the screen plates where the dry joints are lurking. I do like radios that don't have meters, but that's me. That's coming from a business radio background where radios don't have meters. I don't think you get taxi drivers saying to the base, how many pounds am I pushing you? There is a speaker. There is a wire. So it isn't wireless, ha ha ha. There's a printed circuit board. So, has it been zapped, messed with? Or just tired of living? That's the speaker wires. I can't honestly say I can see anything missing from it. So I'm going to temporarily put a negative wire in. I'm sure we can find a negative wire to pinch off a scrap set. Quite a lot of these as scrappers. That doesn't mean there's one lurking right now. This illegal set can just do with a bit of wireless in it. So we're not going to do anything else. We've now got a positive and a negative. I'm going to connect it to the test equipment. We don't appear to have got any cameras on my second switcher channel, so you've got a blank inset picture. I'll just turn that off. If we have a power glitch here, and we do get those being in the middle of nowhere, it only needs to go for half a second and the second camera switcher crashes. It's the other, is it 5 cameras on the other switcher? So we've got that. We may not get it ever as far as that. It may be another not fixing the Midland 77099. I know some of you enjoy just as much not fixing a radio, because I'm going through why. Like some of those teeny weeny sets are 30 quid at the wholesaler, you know, so why would I fix one? I'd like to put a mic to it, otherwise we're going to get no receive anyway, but let's power it up. So it's come on channel 9, which is what we'd expect, so we're not going to hear anything, we haven't got a mic. It's drawing the right kind of current, which is 180 milliamps. So I will have to go and find a mic. Just put that one on one side. So I found a mic, which kind of mic which would have come with it probably. I think we were looking inside this the other day to see what was inside. I've got no receive, but I have got transmit. And it is doing 5 watts and it's on frequency. So let's see whether I've got receive. It might be it's got a squelch issue. And I can hear it receiving really at the back of the box as if there's no mic plugged in. Squelch is working, but if I unplug the mic and plug the mic back in, it makes no difference. Of course, our mic can be faulty, so I'll go and have a look. I can't remember whether these are standard pin out, so if we use the Shaman's MP520P3, which is the 5-pin DIN one, which is what you'd expect on something like a Maxcom 4E. Wallow, wallow. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Key up with that mic, it's doing like 200 milliwatts. Is with that one. So that's fair enough. That other mic's probably not wired right, but so it does work, but it doesn't. Oh, now we've got full power again. I think it's got a dry joint somewhere, so just pop the power off. The fact it does some transmitting is going to lead me to think that it isn't the dry joints under there, which is what you normally get, but it's somewhere in the PA strip. I can either put this under the video microscope or pass it to Mr. Chippy. That's a wicked dry joint there. I don't think it's anything to do with the transmitter there. It's a bit of defluxing this. Anything that gets hot, with all that heating and cooling, is going to expand and contract, and if you're going to get a dry joint, it's possibly there first. It looks a nicely looked after set, this. Right, well, we'll see whether that powers back up and doing some power. Where's my negative? Well, it's still doing power, so I'll come back to this in half an hour and we'll find out why the other camera switch is not on. I'll have to come back to it an hour later and it's still working fine. So we need to sort out the transmitter. Can't have it doing that kind of power, it'll end up killing itself. Legality aside, it'll still end up killing itself. So without the notes, we'll try and remember what the procedure is. Switch some test gear on, better switch on the deviation meter. That takes half an hour to warm up for a reliable result, so we'll come back to that. So I think that's power. Where's my cameras? They are now on. We were last on the spectrum analyzer, so we'll go to the main meter. There we go. Yeah, so that is power. That's 3 watts full scale deflection. So we'll have to set it to max to get the tuning right and then drop it off. This is warmed up, is about 4.5. So as ever, we're going to tune for the centre of the peak. Don't think there's supposed to be a coil in there, and that's going to be the one done with the spectrum analyzer, I would think, without checking with the information. I'm going to move it because I can move it back. No, I can't tell, but I could always put the spectrum analyzer back on. So we want to drop the power to 4 watts. just like that. I'll see what it is on the other channels. So it's 4.6. It's now 4. Channel 40 is 4. Channel 1 is 3.95. Low power. So it's 260 milliwatts. I can't remember whether it's adjustable on these. I might have to get the service manual out yet. There can't be that many adjustments because it doesn't have a meter. So we're going to have deviation, aren't we? I think that's low power. I just have an inkling they kind of put in as an afterthought. No, I couldn't be more wrong. Perhaps that's squelch. I'll have to check before we wind this up, but in that case it doesn't have adjustable low power. It's 1.12 amps. I'll have a quick look at deviation for what it's worth on this test set. Wallow, it's 2.8, so it might be right. The frequency I don't think is far out. 27,79122. So they drop with age. It's now 27. Doesn't have a meter. Doesn't have a meter. Doesn't have a meter lamp. Doesn't have PA. Switches are working, the potentiometers are working, the sockets are working. No power lead. Right, receiver. Let's see what it is at the moment. So we'll put up the SINAD meter. And instead of using the loudspeaker on my wall, we'll use test instruments. So at the moment we've got 0.51. Check we're on frequency. Not quite. So now we'll see what 10 dB is. 0.5. And for 20, it's 1. We'll just do the detector, so I'll put the oscilloscope up. So I haven't got picture on, so you've not seen any of this. It's 100 microvolts. I think that's our detector. little fraction there. So go back to the SINAD meter. Let's have a look at these. Is that IF? Yeah, drop the signal. Drop the signal again. A lot of the receivers in that chip, so there's not that many adjustments. Let's get a new reading. Another one which has ended up. Oops. We're just skirting around the edges again. It's 0.51 for 10 dB. .44 for 20 dB. 1. Squelch. So I've fiddled with that, haven't I? So we can't do it before reading. I think this is what lets these sets down, if I remember. So it's opening at the moment. Full squelch is 2.4 microvolts. I will just write that down as an aid memoir for me. 2.4 microvolts. And the sensitivity is just not quite 0.3, 0.35. So let's see if we can reset that. It's full squelch on the radio. See whether we can squelch out 30 microvolts. Yes, we can. So I'll put 100 on now. I want it to open. Show you the attenuator. So 100, 0. I don't move it from that. That's not kind of how I want it, but I think it's the best compromise. Let's tell you what it is now. So it's 300 microvolts for full. You kind of got this big gap. You can set it so it's 30 microvolts, and you can set it if it's 300. I want it to be 100, but at least it does open, and isn't one of those sets where it never ever opens. So let's set the minimum. 4.5. There we go. So I'll come back, put a power lead on this, and we'll do the deviation on the test meter behind. Yes, it's just dry joints around the PA. Right, so we've got a power lead on it now. So of course we've got to put it back to channel 20. Voila! So it's still reading correct on here. We'll go to the other test set just to make sure that one's not lying. Voila! It's about 3.5, it's a bit high. Voila! And now it's not too high. Right, I'll put it back together and we'll do an on-the-air test. Just check the transmit power. Spot on. I think we've got a new in a box one of these. They'll still have dry joints, I expect. It kind of makes me laugh, but there's a lot of new sets you see on eBay in boxes, but in actual fact they were returns. And they've kind of just got unearthed, haven't they? And every time we get a new in a box set, it doesn't work, but it's always something easy. But they go for telephone number prices with them being new in a box. Right, well, you've got all the screws with this one, so that makes a change. Switch picture in, picture off. So we'll run it on a standard replacement mic. This one will probably end up on eBay because we've got, as I say, we've got a new one of these, so I've got one for reference. Do aim to have one of each set. We've got a Harry Moss come from a customer. Don't see many Harry Moss sets. There are potentially 3 models. There's the Interceptor TC300 as a Harry Moss. There's a small set as a Harry Moss. And then the normal Harry Moss. Which looks like an audio line but isn't. So I haven't undone the package. Why doesn't that want to go in there? Try a different screw. Must be a dodgy screw. Be able to chuck that on the floor as well. Right, there we go. We'll put the aerial in. Turn the test gear off. One on a Roger. Some illegal SSB activity causing a bit of a problem. Okay, the swearing starts. So there we are, the 77099, another set resurrected. So thanks for watching that. We'll do an on-the-air test later today.